Hello students, in standard 7th we started the revision in the physics chapter number 13, and in last video we learned about motion, how the object can be said to be in motion. Then we compare that when the object which is in motion can be fast or slow according to the either the time or either by the distance. Now if you notice the speed, but before we go to the speed, the types of motion according to the time they take to cover the distance, like a uniform motion or a non-uniform motion. If an object or a body covers same distance in same time of interval, then its motion is said to be the uniform motion. It means that suppose a car is moving same distance in same time of interval. It means that suppose in 5 minutes interval, if it is covering say 3 kilometer or 4 kilometer, means every 5 minutes if it is covering 4 kilometer, next 5 minutes also 4 kilometer, next 5 minutes also 4 kilometer. So here you will see that in the same time of interval, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, the distance is also same, 4 kilometer, 4 kilometer, 4 kilometer. Then we can say that the motion of that car is a uniform motion. But actually, if you see in general, there will be very few objects, or probably none of them can be in the uniform motion, because the speed or the velocity cannot be same every time. So every time the object cannot cover the same distance in the same interval of time. So if a body covers different distances in same intervals of time, its motion is said to be non-uniform motion. Because we know that if we are riding a bike, then if there is no traffic, you can cover more distance. But if there is a traffic, or you are going in the villages where there are so many bumps, so many people are also crossing the roads, etc., then you cannot have the same distance covered in the same time of interval. So mostly when we are moving, the motion is non-uniform motion. So it means that in we will seldom will find that the speed will be the same every time. They have to apply brakes or to accelerate according to the situation. And therefore, most of the time, our motion will be non-uniform motion. Now, we talk about the speed. As we saw that some of the vehicles, when you see on the highway also, some are going very fast, some are going very slow, some are having medium. Then how can we decide fast or slow? So we can say that by the speed. He is going very speedily. He is very slow. So now what is the actually speed? Speed. The rate of change of position of an object is called its speed. It means that how much distance is covered per unit time. Means either in 1 second or 1 minute or in 1 hour. That you find, that is known as the speed of the moving object. For example, you see that here you can see in the figure also, there are two pictures are shown. You can see that the position of all the cars are not equal. Some of them are in the first, they are at the back, but then when they are moving speedily, they can come in the front also. It means that the speed of them will be different. So now, if we know the distance covered by two objects in particular time period, then we can say, we can find the speed of that object. So if we know the distance covered by two buses in 1 hour, if we start that, they started at 8 a.m. Then at 9 a.m., how much distance both the buses covered? That if we can find, then you can compare that whose speed is more. If it can cover more distance in 1 hour, that bus will be of more speed. That bus will have the more speed than the others. So here, the distance covered by an object in a unit time is called the speed. Or you can say the rate of change of position of an object is called its speed. So you can write down any of the definition, that the distance covered by an object per unit time is also known as its speed. So when you say that the speed of the car is 50 km per hour, it means that it can cover 50 km in 1 hour. Per hour means in 1 hour. You are familiar with the cricket match. When you watch the cricket match on television, then the bowler is throwing the ball faster. In that time you will see that they will give the speed of the ball, that how speedily they are throwing the ball. So here it means that if I say that the speed of car is 50 km per hour, it means that it can cover 50 km distance in 1 hour. But now, is it possible that every hour it can cover 50 kilometers? It is not possible, because every time it cannot have the same speed, because there can be some obstacles in the way. Maybe the children are crossing the road, or some animals are there on the road, or if it is a very traffic, too much traffic. So in this situation, sometimes it can cover more than 50 kilometer also, or sometimes it can cover less than 50 kilometer per hour also. It means that we have to, actually we are telling, when we give the speed, it is not the actual speed, but it is the average speed. So how can we find the average speed? For that we have to check how much distance is covered from the beginning to the end of the journey. And similarly, same time we have to note the time taken to cover that total distance. And after that you have to use this formula, that speed v is equal to distance divided by time. Distance is denoted by s, time is denoted by t, and speed by v. Then the division of distance, total distance covered divided by total time taken, that is actually called the average speed. But generally we don't use this word average. Generally we write down the speed only. So in this situation you understand that it is average speed, because every time it cannot move 50 kilometer in an hour. Sometimes there is no traffic, the highway is clear. It can go 55 kilometer also in 1 hour. Or if it is very too much traffic, then it takes much time. So in 1 hour it can cover only 45 or 50 kilometer also. And therefore we have to count the total distance and total time. So that is the formula. From this relation you can find the speed of any moving object. So in that cricket game also the speed of ball is same. From there to there, how much distance is there, we know that. And with the use of the stopwatches they can find the time, and then by dividing that we can find out the speed of that moving object. Now, measurement of time. Nowadays we can easily say the time by using your watches or the clocks or the mobiles. But in ancient time, when the watches or clocks were not invented, sometimes if you have old people in your houses or in your neighboring, then by looking outside the shadow of the trees or the shadow of the houses, they can tell you approximate time. In the noon also they will just see outside and they can say, yeah, it can be 12 o'clock, it can be 1 o'clock. In the evening time also, not exactly, but most probably the exact time they can tell you without looking at the watch, only by the shadow of the objects, by their observations. Because in the ancient times there were no watches. So in that situation they were looking, they were observing the periodic events. They see that every morning sun is coming at the same time, Second morning again coming at the same time. Then what did they do? The time between one sunrise and the next was called a day. So they will see that sun is rising. Then next day again that sun is rising. The time between that two sunrises, they counted as a day. Then the other natural phenomena we know about it, that is the phases of moon. Phases of moon, you will see that after 1 month, again the new moon day is coming. So, on that moon, also they can, between the two time period between them is regarded as 1 month. Similarly, the seasons are changing. Then one season finished, and after same period, that same season will start. So between that seasons, period between the same season again coming, that they took as 1 year. Because the earth moves around the sun in 1 year. And therefore, that time was taken as a complete year. So, in the ancient time, there are so many other also observations by which they were deciding the day, deciding the month, deciding a week, deciding the everything like that. Because there were no devices were found. Then they were starting to find out the other watches that you will learn about, that the like sand clock and water clock and so on. But that we will talk later in this chapter. Nowadays we know that we are using clocks and watches. Now it is very difficult, the working of that clock, that how can they have the exact time. But simply you have to understand that these watches and clocks, they are using the periodic motion. They are using the periodic motion. And the most common, very periodic motion is the pendulum. The simple pendulum is the most well-known example of a periodic motion. If you tie a thread from a support, rigid support, and at the end of the thread, the other end, if you tie a stone or a metallic ball, that will give you the idea of a simple pendulum. The metallic ball that you suspend at the end of the thread is known as bob. Now, if you see that if it is in the vertical position at position O, then it is called its mean position. Now, if you hold this bob and taking either one or the other side like that, and if you release it, then it will go like that, like a swing. So here, that is the simple pendulum, and its motion is known as the periodic motion. In this situation, it is also known as oscillatory motion. Why it is oscillatory motion? From one side to another side and again back from the same side. So that process is also known as the oscillatory motion, and it is periodic because it takes the same time and come back to that position again. So it is the periodic motion or the oscillatory motion also. So now, how can we find the time period? So if you measure the time taken for the 20 oscillations and then divide by 20, means you will find the time for one oscillation, because for only one oscillation it is not easy to find out the time, because it will take a little time. So what we have to do? We have to do either the 20 or 10 oscillations. Count from here, then here to here it is one oscillation. If we start from A, going to B, again coming to A, that is known as one oscillation. So if you count 20 oscillations and divide it by 20, you will find that the time period of that simple pendulum. And then you will observe that every time your time period will be most probably the same, because it obeys the which motion? It is a periodic motion. So by this way, the watches are also using that pendulum in the ancient time. If you have some old type of wall clocks in your houses, then there will be a pendulum in it. And it goes from left to right, right to left in the same time of interval. And according to that, your watch is giving you perfect time. So that is the situation of the simple pendulum. And the period, time period of the pendulum. What is the time period mean? Time taken for one oscillation is known as the time period. So we are going to finish today's session. In next session we will learn about the units of the time and speed and how to measure the time. There will be question answers in the PDF file. Thank you very much.